This appears to be the immediate aftermath of an attack, some kind of strike coming from the Lebanese side of the border. And this speaks again to what our correspondent, Ali Hashem, who was just reporting from Lebanon, was saying. This is what we're seeing on day 27 of the conflict, even as we continue to keep a very close watch on what's happening in that border area between Lebanon and Israel. There have been exchanges, there have been attacks on both sides, exchanges of artillery, and this is the... I'm just getting new information. Bear with me for a second. I'm told that Al-Qassam Brigade is claiming responsibility. That's Al-Qassam Brigade, which is the armed wing of Hamas, but this one based in Lebanon is claiming responsibility for this particular attack after, it says, having launched 12 missiles from Lebanon. That's what you're looking at. We will examine the aftermath. We'll keep a close eye on this. We'll go back to Ali at some point in Lebanon, talk about the aftermath of all of this. I want to just put this on a brief pause, even as we continue to watch it, to bring back in our guest, Eric. Eric, thanks for your patience. I mean, you will understand, as our viewers will, that, you know, we're always watching multiple fronts in this conflict. Just now, can you just recap what has happened in the last hour or so, less than that, where you are, for people who are joining us now?
Well, we'll start with the impact in Kiryat Shimona on the Israeli side of the border after the Al-Qassam Brigades, Hamas's military wing in Lebanon, announced launching 12 rockets towards the northern towns and cities in Israel. Now, as you were showing on the screen, there was an impact, maybe several impacts. Now, we don't have a clear picture of number of casualties, whether there are casualties, especially that the Israeli army over the past weeks have announced this area as a military area and asked many people to leave. Now, this is one. Second thing, which was very significant, Hezbollah using explosive-laden drones in attacking Israeli positions in South Lebanon, on the South Lebanon border. This was significant because it's the first time that this element enters the front line between Lebanon and Israel. Also, part of this whole context of rockets, there were several rockets launched today towards several positions, maybe 6 launches towards 6 locations on the Israeli border, including one here where we are in Naqoura, and the sounds were really huge, different from the ones before, and we didn't really see any kind of interception. This is another thing. Also, there's an issue that should be taken into consideration. As you were saying, Nasrallah is going to speak tomorrow. Also, we have 3 Lebanese civilians who were killed over the past 48 hours. Now, you were mentioning the Kiryat Shimona impact. We have to take into consideration the Israeli military has been hitting several residential homes here in Lebanon. So there are several Lebanese houses that were hit on the border, whether in Mays al-Jabal, whether in Ait al-Sha'ab, whether in Alma al-Sha'ab. So we're talking about several places. So this also could be part of the whole equation, of the bigger equation. And as we said, tomorrow Nasrallah is going to speak. Nasrallah is going to put a price tag on all this.
Ali, I'm just going to run our viewers through the pictures. We have 2 sources of pictures right now. It's 16 GMT, 1800 in local in the region. What you're seeing were pictures from a very short while ago after a rocket attack from Hamas's Al-Qassam Brigade, the Lebanese-based wing of the Al-Qassam Brigade. And what you're seeing now is the live picture of that area in Kiryat Shimona in northern Israel. So the fire has now been put out. That's what it looks like live right now. The fire's been put out, and now we're getting a clearer sense of where those rockets hit. It was clearly some kind of commercial, urban area. You see civilian cars that were hit, that were on fire. You see the first responders, the firefighters that are on the scene that have now successfully put out the fire. And that's the aftermath. And top right of your screen is what moments ago was still happening when the fire was still burning. Ali, before we move on from this, again, Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, speaks tomorrow. He has not spoken directly, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but he hasn't spoken publicly, addressed the nation, and I should say the region, since the beginning of this conflict, correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's been more than 25, 26 days since the beginning of this conflict. Nasrallah's been silent, and his silence was described as suspicious because everyone was waiting Nasrallah to talk, to draw the red lines from the beginning. What seems Nasrallah just had this decision to keep the situation going on towards accumulation, just as we are seeing. And it's not a coincidence that 24 hours before he speaks, the front line is heating up this way. And Hezbollah is using kind of different elements, different weapons. Hamas is using maybe stronger missiles from the Lebanese side of the border. So this is just kind of setting the scene, and he is setting the scene. In all, we are maybe on the verge, or this is a threshold for a new level, a new phase.